Hey friends, it's Diego here. I hope you're doing well and in peace. Today I want to share a few thoughts on changing our minds, and I've been reflecting a lot lately in how we are taught by society that we need to have everything figured out from a very young age and changing our opinions and positions about things that were said, but now we think differently. And I noticed that in recent years, I've been changing my opinion quite frequently about things, even things that I said last week, and I had a firm decision about it. And then a week later, I'm like, well, maybe I could try this in a different way, or I could see this differently. And I wanted to share this here because I used to judge myself a lot in the past for changing my mind. And for example, if I agreed with friends to go to a certain place or to do something, and then a few weeks passed, and then when it's time to actually do that thing, and I wasn't really feeling like it anymore, and then I would do it anyway because I already committed to that, and there was kind of this fear of disappointing others, like fear of judgment. And but now I've been like reframing that in my mind, and I think that changing our minds and our positions about things is actually a sign of emotional growth, of resilience, of developing self-awareness of what we like and what we don't like. And it's more importantly a sign of courage. It takes courage to perhaps challenge someone, to create some sort of tension in a relationship because you are putting yourself first in saying no to someone else or to something else that you don't feel like doing. But when we say no to others, we're saying yes to ourselves, and we are preserving our energy to do something else that resonates more for our own lives, right? And it's interesting because I've been reflecting a lot on my limiting beliefs, and behaviors that I carry from childhood that doesn't belong to me anymore into my life right now. And I used to think I had to be 100% certain about things. For example, career choice. We are taught from a very young age that we need to decide, when we're at school, you are like 14, 15, 16, and you have to decide. You have to apply for universities. You have to decide your career for the rest of your life. And you're not even an adult yet to make those decisions, but then you have all this pressure, at school, from colleagues, from friends. Oh, which uni you're going to, what you're gonna study, what's gonna be your major. And I took those decisions then, but I see this completely different now. I don't think that we are ready at 16 and 17 to make those kind of decisions. And if I had the awareness I have now, then of course that's not possible, but I would, explore life a bit more and experiment with things to make those kind of decisions later on. But I think that we have this programming that we need to make decisions, that that certainty equals to success. How come you're finishing school and you're not going to university now? And it is a sign of success in the society that we live in. So this is just one example in my life that I don't think I was ready to make those decisions at that time. But I did. I went to university. I went to work in a corporate job because I was looking for certainty. And then now it kind of feels a bit wrong to change careers, to change my mind, to change my position. I invested so much money and so much time building my corporate career, and now I have to let go of all of that. But it takes a lot of courage to take those bold steps. And I used to see my colleagues like directors, like senior people in those companies. And I don't think they were very happy, but I think they just accepted that it's kind of part of life. And I know people have different priorities. Maybe, people that I used to work with, they had kids and they had other priorities, like financial priorities. So maybe they kind of, like stayed in they accepted certain things because they kind of have other responsibilities, like take care of kids, for example. But I decided to take courageous and bold steps into a more happier and fulfilling life for myself. So this is one big example of something that I've been going through now. And I needed some time away from the chaos to figure it out exactly what is my path. What is it that fulfills me, and what is it that lights me up that I want to do from now on. And it's interesting because we develop our own identity around those things, right? So I am the person that works in marketing, that had this type of job, that have this house, that lives in this city. And when we make changes, it also affects our sense of ego and our sense of identity. So who am I without those things? And without that financial security that job provides me. And it can feel very scary. And we all kind of become, this persona. So it's like me, it's not only myself anymore, but it's myself, Diego, doing this kind of job, having this kind of lifestyle, living in this kind of city with this kind of type of friends. And it takes a lot of courage because our ego doesn't like change, and our body is wired for survival and safety first. So it takes a lot of effort for us to change something within ourselves. But it doesn't need to be something complex as this. It can be something more simple on the day-to-day life, as I shared at the beginning. Sometimes you committed and do something, but then a week passes and you don't feel like doing that anymore. Or you have other priorities, something in your family that you need to take care of. And we tend to judge ourselves for changing our opinions and saying no to that person that we committed before. But when we do that, we are prioritizing our needs first. And that's not wrong, and that's not selfish. Changing our mind is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are evolving, you are developing self-awareness, you are prioritizing your needs first, you are learning and evolving. And our needs change as we grow and evolve. And I think that in this day and age, things will become even more faster in how we interact with people, how we make decisions. So what mattered to you 1 month ago or 1 year ago, it's not relevant anymore. I had my own apartment in London, I had all my furniture, and I thought that I was gonna live there for quite a while. But then in the same time, I kind of felt stuck in that, I have all these things now, and now I'm kind of stuck here, even though I don't feel like living here anymore. And when I let go of all of those things, I started like selling my furniture, and I started like donating a lot of things, like personal things. And I actually felt free in the end of the process, even though I was exhausted. But then I kind of felt free, I don't have these things blocking me anymore. I'm now free to do anything I want and to go anywhere I feel like going. So you don't have to stay in your situation forever just because you make decisions. and now your circumstances change. So it is actually a sign of courage and self-awareness that now your priorities changed and you want to live with a different lifestyle and you want to try something new. So give yourself permission to change and evolve. Flexibility is a superpower, it's resilience, it's prioritizing your needs. It is definitely a strength, it's not a weakness. And I believe that there are certain stages in our lives that we outgrow the situation, that we don't want to do this kind of job anymore, or that we don't want to continue in this lifestyle, or going out every weekend, or hanging out with certain type of friends that doesn't resonate with you anymore, or the kind of conversations that they have, or that you don't want to live in that house anymore, that if you like changing. When we get very rigid about situations, it makes us stuck. It makes us feeling disconnected, and it creates like unhappiness in our lives. Like those examples that I shared. And you don't have to hold on to something because it made sense in the past, but now it doesn't, and now it's your time to change and evolve. And it's a very simple example that nature shows us, the caterpillar who goes into hibernation and then it evolves into a butterfly full of colors with wings to fly. So that is my message today. I hope this resonated with you. Let me know in the comments, what have you changed in the last year? And I hope to see you again very soon. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time. Bye-bye.